Now, ladies and gentlemen, on this segment, you know, say Isaac Buchannan, Lego emote about the JLP and them situation. I understand. One big banger. I'm gonna like and share the video. Alright? Like and share the video.
You know, I just want to take this opportunity to say the People's National Party don't have this crab in the barrel behavior, you know. We don't have this casting. We have a cadre of candidates.
My G splash page, we are dealing with. Remember if you drop the link them here,
there's
bro?
not one set of people you can
Remember if you drop the link them in a splash ditches in?
group together and get this quality of candidates. I mean, when the act came out and the teachers were affected, we looked around and so much of us are teachers. I was surprised when I heard Ronnie Tweed say that he was
supporting the bill.
He was supporting the bill, but I understand as a former Minister of Education what he's going and how he feels about regulating that space. But what the reality is right now is that teachers, if they are to be regulated, the salaries must be commensurate to the work that they're doing. It's a simple thing.
No, repeat that argument. I think that's a solid one, you know.
If teachers are going to be regulated, the salaries must be commensurate to the work that they're doing.
Just like
professions that are regulated, there is a certain level of projection that you can get. For instance, attorneys, they assume if you're 1 to 5 years at the bar, you're going to make about so much money.
So we see why the PMP is not opposed to the bill, because the regulatory aspects of the bill would indeed, now I'm understanding from Isat, would indeed increase the teacher's salary by proxy because of those regulations. There's just certain aspects of the bill that is concerning that they have laid there. You know, they have laid it out on the line for there to be more public awareness and understanding surrounding the JTC bill. But let's hear more from Isat Buchannan, ladies and gentlemen.
And so the practicing certificate fee, there's 20 years, 40 years at the bar. Mm-hmm. You understand? The teaching profession, it is the government who is responsible for majority of the teaching. What are they? What are you regulating? What are you doing by trying to demand a practicing certificate?
It's funny you said that, because I know many other instructors, let me call them,
yes,
like myself. We teach.
You are teacher?
Yes, I teach.
I'm teach at the Trenchtown Community College. So
I teach at heart.
Yes, it's all right. We know where we do. You can go on. We know where you teach.
I teach at many other institutions. I won't say where, but
yeah, call it out.
So will I have to also get the certificate?
Of course, you have $1 million.
So much fee?
If you that's the thing.
What can go so?
Remember, driving without a license is cheaper than teaching without a license.
So performer go run Uber.
The nonsense. So once again, Jamaican citizens have been bamboozled, because when they say no new taxes, soon you're gonna hear say the handcat man need a certificate to be a handcat man, and if him not have it and renew it, him can't push him car.
But
ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
And Andre, this is so ironic, because I'm gonna say this as an educator, that is responsible for the future of this country, especially when it comes to law, from social work to criminal law to constitutional law and human rights law. I am prepared to pay for that certificate if Delroy Chuck passes legislation to release the sexual offences registry.
Repeat.
Wow.
I am prepared to pay my practicing certificate as a teacher if the sexual offences registry is also made public.
Wow.
And so when we
should
tweak,
have Isat negotiate on behalf of
when we tweak legislation, the object and purpose of the legislation must be for progressive advancement. And we must consider and contemplate why it is that we're regulating, because the regulation of a profession in the manner that they're doing should never be financial gain for the government, but to ensure that the public is protected against the people who are in the profession. That is the primary concern of having that. So what they're doing is causing well-minded teachers, good teachers, to further brain drain. And pretty soon we're gonna, just like we have the Chinese garage, we're gonna have Chinese teachers.
You know, it's funny you said that though, Isat.
Don't take it lightly. I'm serious.
You hear what the man say a while ago? Let's play that back. That's important to remember.
Well-minded teachers, good teachers, to further brain drain. And pretty soon we're gonna, just like we have the Chinese garage, we're gonna have Chinese teachers.
You no think a joke him a make? Jamaica, we are in an invasion. We are in the middle of an invasion. And Andrew Onis has totally sold out to that group of people. He is with them 100% and them with him. And there's no protection for our teachers out here. None. They want to go AI, they want to go all type of thing. Why? I mean, don't you think that technology and AI would benefit the Chinese? They are leading in it, isn't it? Think about that. Just think about that for a minute. It's very, very serious.
You know, it's funny you said that though, Isat.
Don't take it lightly. I'm serious.
A lecturer said to me today, I made her aware. Well, she already knew. She said, and I'm going to repeat exactly what she said. She said, Andrew, Dane and all of them forgot teach the pitney them. Since as how them want to charge them again, them forgot teach the pitney them.
And I would never want that. That would not be a suggestion.
That's what she's. I mean, I'm just relaying what she said.
And people must be mindful. Remember, you know, there's a moral decay on that side, you know. So certainly children must be protected from that moral decay. These are people who refuse to sign the code of conduct, the leadership code of conduct, but are telling teachers that they must go get certificates and certification, and they would not even sign the code of ethics.
Embarrassing. He needs some milk.
What logic or lack thereof, eh? What logic? They want to make sure that everybody is held accountable, but these politicians that are in power right now, everybody else, Bolo having a bit of struggle trying to export a 40-minute video on voice note editor for my first premiere. Shake you after the live. No, Splash DG, you have to make sure you're saying a good Wi-Fi, you know. Yeah, man, that's the first thing. And what I would tell you is this. When you're loading up the video from your phone, put it on unlisted. Make it unlisted. Don't put it on public. Alright? When it finish load up, you can edit from there. You hear me, General? But make sure you put it on unlisted. Don't put it on public. When it finish load up, yes, because most of those things you have to use a computer, you know, bro. So you're gonna need a computer because some things you can't do on your phone. You understand what I say? And some things you still cannot do on your, what's it called? Your YouTube studios. You definitely need a computer. Alright, my brother? So you can maximize your potential of your videos success. Alright? Or your videos success. Alright? Let's continue.
I mean, I think it's odd though, because one has to possess a level of education to be considered in particular professions. One of that profession is teaching. So, like Isat, he holds qualifications in law, myself in communications and information technology. So I'm saying to myself, teachers go to school and make sure they specialize in particular areas to go in the institution to teach. Why then do they need an additional certification to go in an institution to teach people Pitney? It now makes sense to me because they already go to school for 4 or 5 years.
No, the certification, well, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, the certification is only for the purpose of extracting monies from the salaries of the teachers. That's already measly salaries, because the government is going to be in a position to withhold the monies to renew certificates on a yearly basis. That's the effect of it. So everything from uniform allowance to this and whatever it is that teachers get wherever. Not to mention the the infancy school. Those teachers don't get much money. Basic school, they don't get money.
Is one teacher get paid at basic school, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's a lot of hardship that's going on with teachers, and I'm saying I can even say once again that the parliamentarians and the government should have well, they can't even certify them statutory declaration, but they might call the teacher them to get certified. Irony. And in life, we live by example. Because if in the professions, in the legal profession, if you're practicing certificate is not renewed, you can't practice.
Funny.
So how it is a politician have 3 years and counting, unable to certify statutory declarations, and you're still able to run up and down and say you're the top dog.
Students, that is why he can't run.
No, I'm not saying that. If Trump can run, hey, leave that one alone. Leave that alone. But I'm just, the point I'm making is we have selective morality. We have we don't identify the issues and deal with them head on. And the public is there must always be public education before they do stuff, because everything that they did. Delroy Chuck just this week championed and passed the bill to have young people, juveniles, stay in prison for 30 years.
That don't sit well with me, but that's another story.
No, I have to talk about it, because I can tell you something. We continue to treat children like adults. So while they pass the legislation to put children in for murder, that, don't get me wrong, for committing murder, and they should stay in prison for 30 years. It's the same way they deal with a 15-year-old who wasn't doing nothing. And then they start to put guns on them, and then they start to send them in prison and convicting them, and you put them through ordeals. This is in the context that they took Mavado's son and sent him to prison, knowing that it was a wrongful conviction. The acting DPP tried the case. There was no voice identification, bad jury instruction, and the young man went through an ordeal and has to heal for the rest of his life. And so we have to think of how we protect the young people in Jamaica. We have to think about what we're doing in terms of being prospective, preventative measures, and we're always trying to do things in the back end. Yeah, so but somebody have to really wonder why government is going to be so reactive. What I will say though is the irony is Delroy Chuck has to be over 60. So if you send somebody to prison under your watch for 30 years at a minimum, and 50 years for the capital murder and the this and that, you're dead left it. So people will be coming out, and then you have the George Williams situation where all the people who sent that young man when he was 20 to prison, they're nowhere around, and young people get up and hear that there's a man languishing in prison.
Big up Sandra.
So we, especially when we have a horrible prison system, there's no new prison, there's no humane treatment. The Mandela rules aren't observed. Our human rights track record is zero. Wow. But then one wonders, it makes sense now why they're just killing people rather than putting them in prison.
Wow.
But it's a lot. I know I'm saying a lot, but I feel very slightly.
It's your area. It's
not only that is my area. It's just, remember, I mean, I have to say this. Remember, I am a juvenile offender that have re-entered the space, exemplary rehabilitation, have become an attorney, one of the best, whether people want to accept that or not. I have done the work, and I've gone to the Privy Council and the CCJ in a space where there are persons who are the Prime Minister is uncertain what the CCJ is about. We have a Jamaican who is leading the CCJ at the moment, and the Privy Council. And I think they're both extraordinary courts. I'm raising it to say that when a dead, no dash way, and the purpose of incarceration is for rehabilitation, corrective measures.
True.
It's funny. It's funny that
it cannot be punitive, and the laws are just when you allow retarded people to make law, and when you have to be very mindful when people who lack humanity, compassion and empathy sits at the helm. I have a serious problem with that, and I'm going to speak out. Just like I have a problem with the commissioner, whom I think I'm happy he's the commissioner because we didn't have one before. But at the same time, you cannot defend slackness until we meet halfway in terms of the justice that we want for this country. Until we find a space where we're.
Hey, big up Isat, yeah, man. Jesus, this is what I know with Isat Buchannan. Isat Buchannan is such a people defender. I have to big up Isat Buchannan, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you why. Isat Buchannan has come on this platform several times and gave the Commissioner of Police his support. And now he's realizing that the man is keeping up slackness and he's not afraid, ladies and gentlemen, to call a spade a spade. I want you to give Isat Buchannan a warm fire. I talk about the comrade welcome in the comment section for Isat Buchannan. Seriously, no joke. No one say be orange heart and fist in the ear for Isat Buchannan. Don't play that back.
I'm happy he's the commissioner because when people who lack
Let me play that back.
And the Privy Council. And I think they're both extraordinary courts. I'm raising it to say that when a dead, no dash way, and the purpose of incarceration is for rehabilitation, corrective measures.
Yes, it's funny. It's funny that
it cannot be punitive, and the laws are just when you allow retarded people to make law, and when you have to be very mindful when people who lack humanity, compassion and empathy sits at the helm. I have a serious problem with that, and I'm going to speak out.
Yes,
just like I have a problem with the commissioner, whom I think I'm happy he's the commissioner because we didn't have one before. But at the same time, you cannot defend slackness, and until we meet halfway in terms of the justice that we want for this country, until we find a space where we respect the Constitution and we're trying to develop as a developing country, we ignore the fact that Vision 2030 dead, 5 in 4 dead, or 4 in 5, whatever. Everything that is promised is dead. And you're killing people. The most important commodity and resource in Jamaica is the human product.
Yes.
Jamaicans, the citizen.
Yes.
The same people we knock pan cover when them win. We knock pan cover for the bolts. We worship the cartels, the bounty killer, the beanie man. All of them we get visa and I run up and down now. We worship them.
Well, I don't worship them, but
and we excuse them for slackness that them do too. But what I'm trying to say is more than anything is if you don't give the Jamaicans the ability and the facilities and the access to be the best versions of themselves, killing it is not the answer.
Facts.
And I can tell you, if Christmas never make we know, them bad mind for the singing, Andrew can't sing not one note. It sound like one big dirty elephant. I don't know what it's all like. I have to bring it up because at least Mark Golding can sing. Shout out to Mark Golding and Natalie Nita Garvey. I'm just saying because talent no run through everybody.
That's true, man.
So you can't suppress and you can't destroy and you can't bad mind, and that's all I'm seeing. And believe me when I tell you this, every nigga is a star. I'm quoting Big U. I hope I don't have to pay $500,000 on partner or TV for saying that. But anyway, and how important that is, that we need to look at that. And so I know I'm saying a lot, but I'm passionate about these things, and I just think that we are just running a PR campaign and we're not looking at the human. We're not looking at the human element, and we're not engaging the citizens at the levels where they are to bring people up. Because if we elevate the least among us, trust me, we're a superior nation to many. We're little but we tolerate, and we must remember that.
I'm going to take a commercial break, Jamaica. I'm going to take a commercial break, and when we come back.
So, may I tell you, that is so refreshing to hear the gentleman talk about the issue at hand and calling a spade where the commissioner of police is concerned. He is supporting slackness. He is, you know, I rarely see chickens catch what you call it. Nature is something else, you know, man. Look at all of them fighting for the one little bird or butterfly. And him nah give them none, you know. Watch it. Anyway. Yes, I only worship God. I don't worship cartel of these people. I had to make that clear. But thanks to Partner Jar TV. Make sure you go subscribe. And you know, thanks to Isat for this riveting analysis and discussion. There's much more there of value. You guys can go and watch the episode. It was last night. I just took parts of it that I wanted to react to. You understand? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section about that.